is Shannon Nordstrom, thanking you for tuning in to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show. Have a great day, and remember, PTLA.
The opinions heard on this program, based on the many years of experience of Russ and Shannon, are offered for entertainment value and as a guide to your repair needs. No guarantee to repair or cause is given or implied. Always check with your favorite certified technician and follow all safety procedures before attempting repair. The Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics is reproduced and distributed by Prairie House Productions. Have questions for the Motor Medics? Call our 24-hour toll-free number, 866-594-4150. All content of the Under the Hood Show is the property of Nordstrom's Incorporated. Copyright Nordstrom's Automotive and may be reproduced with our permission.
Now, let's go under the hood with the Nordstrom's Motor Medics.
Welcome to the Under the Hood Show. We are glad to have you with us. Russ Evans is here to answer your automotive questions.
Hi, Chris. Welcome to the show.
Shannon Nordstrom is here to do the same.
Welcome, Hoodies. Thanks for tuning in so we can help you tune up. Hi, Russ.
Hi, Russ. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, everybody.
That's never happened before.
Doctor.
That has never happened before.
We've got I'm Chris Carter, by the way, here to answer your calls at 866-594-4150.
Doctor.
A lot of calls coming in, so let's get right to them. It feels like we should get back on track.
I think that calls are the best way to do that.
I think so, yeah. Let's go there. Let's start with James. You're on the Under the Hood Show. James, what can we do for you? Oh, no. James, try again.
Well, good morning.
Okay, there you are. Go ahead.
All right. It got a 13 Cadillac XTX luxury. About 125,000 miles on it. Been having a ride problem in it. First of all, I guess I noticed there was a little bit of a right clunk or right front clunk, like in the shock area. I think the shock strut is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does is it pumps the airbags up to full extent and will not adjust the ride height.
So is this just the rear airbags that
We've
pump up?
thrown a scan tool on it.
Is it just the rear airbags that pump up to the,
the
to
rear
the super high
airbags
height?
pump up.
And that when this happens, is it on immediately upon startup? And you said it was a Cadillac XTX or S? S is in Sam, correct?
S is in Sam, yep.
Okay, so it's the big sedan Cadillac.
And it happens, yes. Well, I don't know. They're the small Cadillacs anymore.
Well, yeah, exactly. Compared to the beasts they used to have.
Right, exactly. Yep.
All right, so the right on startup every time, as soon as you hit the key and it starts doing its normal, what would be maybe some normal leveling, it just keeps on going and doesn't stop until what?
On all four corners or just one corner?
Just the back.
Until it gets the two back, and after you fire it up, it'll sit there. I don't know what it's sensing, doing its thing, and then all of a sudden the air pump will kick on, and it just starts climbing and climbing and climbing, and it goes until it's fully maxed out, and then finally the pump will shut off.
All right, and tell me what you were saying you did with a scanner. I just want to make sure and repeat that.
The scanner, we got in there and checked, popped all the ride height sensor levers off of them, ran them up and down, and on the computer, the diagnostic screen, we could see the values were changing. And then once they were all hooked back up, they were similar in values, 2 point something or whatever. And then we would tell it to dump the air going into the, I don't know, suspension control module, I'm guessing, and tell it to dump the air, and it would dump the air and flatten the bags. But then as soon as it gathered back up again, it would pump them all the way clear to the top. Tried to do a hard reset through the scanner, and I guess it didn't take, or there's still something.
You might try unplugging that module. Just take the module out. Just unplug it for 10, 20 minutes. Just make sure it's completely dead, and then hook it back up. See if it does it. I've had some cars do that when you change the battery out, and they just get weird, and you reset them, and they go. with the scan tool, it hasn't done any good. You got to just unplug it, let it completely die out.
Russ, you think there's any correlation to what potentially could be a problem strut in the front of the car?
It shouldn't matter because it's independent. That rear uses ride height sensors to see that. Those ride height sensors should move, and it should know. It should say, hey, we moved this far, even if it doesn't have a calibration for ride. There should be a button in there in the scanner, depending on which scanner you have, to set that. Here's my normal ride height. This is where we want it. And it's only adjustable a little bit, like about an inch either direction. It's not like you could set it permanently for 6 inches higher because they know that's not what they want.
That's what I was going to say. Does they have like a 72 Nova setting?
Yeah,
where
you get a rake.
He's already
to
got
it.
that.
Yeah, he's got the rake from a
You
Nova.
could just get some bigger tires for the back and you'd be good to go.
But that's what your advice would be,
I'd
maybe?
I'd pull it,
Go.
unplug it.
And then if that doesn't work, that module itself could have just decided it doesn't want to be good anymore, or is there something else in that system that
It could very well have a problem in that module because if the compressor is still running, if it's not running and it gets up that high, it could have a bad dump valve in it. But if it's continuing to run, it's thinking that it's still low.
So it just says I need to put more air in
Read
this
the
thing.
data as it going up. If you're reading the data and it's like, oh look, the height ride sensors keep going up. The module's lying to itself. It says, oh no, we still need to go. Like, then why are you counting up? Why are we still counting up? We've counted up 4 inches already. That's too much. That's the module.
That's actually a good point. So instead, he did already look at the data on the sensors with them unplugged, but
Moving them, yeah.
But to watch the data as it moves.
Start with it all the way on the bottom, write down the number, watch the number, and watch the numbers. If they all keep going up, watch all 4.
Okay.
And if they all keep going up the whole way up to the top, it should have stopped somewhere in between. The computer knows better than to keep
And
it
in that
running.
system, the computer stops it, not like the old days where someone had a pressure sensor that would stop them.
All computer.
James, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. At least something to start with, and then figure out from there. You hope that's it, because then if that is it, then he's good to go. It just reset. He puts it back in. It resets, and hopefully
At least till the next time, right?
Do you think a module like that, Russ, that he could use a used module out of another car if it was bad? Is that one that's locked in with a VIN that you still have to
I
initialize
think you
it?
still have to program it, but it's another module should work.
Because there's modules like that you could get into a situation that they're extremely expensive. I mean, there's some that you call the dealer and they're like, oh no, that's $79 cost or whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's not so bad. But then you'll call on the next one and they'll say, well, that module is $647 list price, and you're like, oh, this sounds like something I don't want to just try.
Right.
But then you could look for car dash part and find one under. You just look under computer modules and choose that particular module.
Let's talk to David. You're on the Under the Hood show, David. What can we do for you?
Yes, sir. I have a 2024 Ram 2500. 22,000 miles with a 6.4 engine. The question I have is oil change. This engine has the, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, under light load, it knocks out 4 cylinders.
Yep.
For fuel economy.
Yeah, I think I don't want to dodge his name for
Anyways,
it, but displacement on demand or something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, Ram says I should change oil when my change light comes on. My dealership said I should change it at 5,000 miles, but somewhere I heard, might have been on your show, they said to keep the thing operating properly, I should change at like 3,000 miles. Is this something, or am I dreaming?
How do you use the truck? What's your daily use of this truck?
Just running around like short trips.
Okay, or like around town, and then
bought the
occasionally a
thing
little
because
further out of
my
town.
wife- Yeah.
Okay, so if you're looking at that kind of trips with it, I definitely would bring that oil change interval down. And for 100%, without even looking at Russ, I'm looking at Russ in the eye, you do not follow the light on this truck based on your driving habits, for sure. If you're going to get on the open road every day, and this thing was going down the interstate 50 miles every day, I think you can get closer to using the light. But if you're going to be running around town with it, the oil quality that they're recommending is going to be a very good oil. and it's made for some time in there with the chemical package that they have, the type of lubricity it has, but we're still going to want you to pull down closer to that 3,500 to 5,000 range with that truck.
He's short trips, 3,000. That's it.
Yeah, Russ is going to go lower than that. Yes, if he was at our shop, we recommend lower than that.
And when you say short trips, are you putting 5,000 miles on it in a whole year?
Probably about that. I bought the dumb thing because my wife used my fire department retirement fund and bought a different camper, which my old pickup had a little hard time navigating with, so I end up getting this 3/4 ton.
Okay, then a couple times a year.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Twice a year.
Yeah.
5,000 miles a year, twice a year. Change it in the
like the old days.
Yeah. Change it in the spring, change it in the fall, whatever. I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, and you bought a really nice truck. I mean, that's a good choice for pulling that camper because when you need the power, you'll have it. You have the suspension that you need, you have the brakes that you need, but you don't have all the expensive upkeep as if you would have bought a Cummins diesel version of that truck. So I think you made a good choice for the way you use that truck. You made a very good choice.
David, thanks very much for the call. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show.
Three friends talking cars. You decide if they know what they're talking about. This is Under the Hood.
Eight 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. What has caught your attention in the automotive world?
So I had a couple shop customers come in yesterday, and they changed my channel. Usually it's running Barrett Jackson. People see it. They changed the channel to The Price is Right. And I went out there and I looked and I said, well, they're watching The Price is Right. Where's Drew Carey? Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Barker. And I went, Bob Barker's got black hair.
Huh.
Let's choose your showcase. It's a new car. You'll be driving a 1977 Chevy Corvette with air conditioning and automatic transmission. You'll cruise down the road effortlessly. I was like, a 77 Chevette.
Nice.
Corvette or Chevette?
Chevette.
Okay,
Chevette,
all right.
not Corvette. Did I say Corvette?
You did, but that's okay.
Sorry.
The story's going to be good either way.
It's even better. No, it's a 77 Chevette. And I was like, oh, boy. And I think the retail price was $38.
I was going to say
something.
$38.90. That was going to be my guess.
Yeah. I was like,
$1.
oh my goodness. Wasn't that crazy? And then right after that they had a showcase with a camper, and
that would have been interesting to see too.
It was a little camper, and they had just all the old stuff, a grandfather clock.
Sure.
But car wise, boy, have we come a long way. I mean, what would that be today on the showcase showdown? Would that be like a Ford Focus or something?
Good. Yeah, there's no cars.
A Kia Forte.
There's no. That couldn't have been a Chevrolet car, could it have
I mean,
been?
they still give away cars on that show.
Yeah,
right?
but it couldn't have been a passenger car, a sedan.
No, I think the Malibu's got. Oh, speaking of sedans, there's some automotive news. Shannon, you want to tell them what's going on with the Camaro?
I do. I haven't read in detail, but I saw the blasphemy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wrong.
I looked at the headline. I said, I don't want to read this article.
When Chris talks about cars and cars that came back differently, the Blazer is not a Blazer, only by name. Okay, great. It's a decent vehicle, yes, but it's not what we're looking for.
I have a feeling. I'm going to say something right now before we even get into this. Russ, we're experiencing right now.
Old age.
No. Yes. But the same thing that the Mustang folks felt, and we just didn't feel it as hard.
Yeah.
Now, you were a Mustang guy. Maybe you felt it when they went with the new Mach Mustang.
I was disappointed, but then I thought, okay, it's great to use the name to get people to look at it, because if you called it something else, so many people wouldn't have even purchased it. I think people would purchase this one as what it is because of the name, but it's so awkward, because why? All my thought is, you've got two performance cars from GM.
I gotta
right?
stop you.
Corvette and Camaro.
I gotta stop you. We haven't said what we're talking about yet.
I know we don't want to say it out
The
loud.
Camaro went away when? Last year?
Last year.
They had their anniversary, their final cars last year.
So they
That's-
said, hey, don't worry,
that's
it's
my-
coming back.
That's my only issue with it, is they only waited a year.
Yeah, but they said,
Too,
now,
way
hold on.
too
It's coming
soon.
back.
Way
Now-
too soon.
The rumor is that they're bringing it back as an EV.
well, it's going to be one of two things, EV or not, but it's going to be a
SUV.
four-door car.
It's going to
Yeah.
be an SUV.
A Mach-E is what it is, but
Right.
with a Camaro.
I don't know why they're trying to have a Mach-E competitor because the Mach-E's aren't flying off the shelf.
No, but if you put a gasoline engine in it, that's what they're saying. It could go either way. It could go gas, or if the president of GM has it his way, it says it'll be electric. That's what the article in Motor Trend said. So if that's a gas car, I think if that Mach-E, if they put a EcoBoost
And-
6 in there,
But
you might
make it a
sell
hybrid
lot.
or just make it
No,
completely
just
gas?
a straight EcoBoost. I think more people would buy it. Here's the thing: as age groups, generations move on, they'll take it. They'll accept it. If you're a 16-year-old right now, and in a few years you're driving, and you've got a chance to go out to a lot and buy a car, are you going to go buy if you're not going to buy a minivan, you're going to buy a Charger maybe? A new maybe a Hemi Charger. You want something sporty, but you're going to get a four-door.
Oh yeah,
put
they're
the
bringing
kids in.
out back all the V8s.
You're going to get you pick up the Camaro, or you're going to get an electric Mach-E. They're probably going to be thinking, I don't want an electric for where I'm at. I want a gas car. So maybe the Camaro is the right choice for them. But it just shocks us. I mean, if they're gonna bring back a name that's been gone for a while and make it all electric and do a complete retooling, just bring back a Firebird and really get Shannon's goat.
In 2024,
Goat.
the Mustang Mach-E was the third best-selling EV in the United States.
At how many units?
EV.
Low.
So I'm guessing
The Mach-E.
a Tesla, a Hyundai, and then a Mustang.
Tesla Model Y, Tesla Model 3,
Ooh,
then the Mustang.
both Teslas.
That was in 2024. And the Teslas are way higher, but it's not. I don't think the Mach-E. I think the Mach-E is slotting where they're getting.
I know. I'm being a little bit bitter.
I
I'm being a little
can
bitter.
tell you, it's a good look. If it is anything like
The renderings.
picture that's in Motor Trend, that's a way better looking car than the Mach-E
And to be
for a
fair,
retro look.
Yeah, it's a 4-door.
and to be fair, the Camaro has always just been pretending to be a Mustang, right? So
Not sparking any fires there, are we?
I'm being facetious, by the way. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
Well.
But I saw that news. I forwarded that to you guys. I truly did not even read the article. I just forwarded it to you.
of course,
Here's where we
it's going
get
to be
the
an.
hate.
Of
Here's where we
course,
get
it's
the
going
hate
to be
mail
an
from the
EV.
people that say you guys just hate.
Hey, just as long as they're
Taurus."
listening, they can hate.
Of course, it's going to be a copy of the Mustang
Like
Mach-E.
I still own one, and I've had others, so don't be on me.
Let's go to Texas and talk to Wade. You're on the Under the Hood show, Wade. What can we do for you?
Hey, good morning. Last year, I retired and moved from Knoxville, Tennessee to Waco, Texas.
Cool.
Had a pristine Subaru WRX until a giant pickup truck decided not to stop.
Oh.
No one was injured, so I picked up a 2017 Subaru CrossTrek 5-speed manual. And I have two questions. I'm trying to get accustomed to Texas heat, but I'm seeing oil temperatures at like 237, coolant temperatures at 204.
Mhm.
Am I good?
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
You get that. You get that on a nice South Dakota summer day here. So the
Okay.
the
That
oil
seems a
temps.
little high.
Yeah, the engine's fine, and you'll see that engine temp on a good hot day. When they haven't had super hot days yet, but when you hit like 104, high humidity, like up where the dew point's up like 90, you're gonna be like, oh, and you got your air on high, and you're in stop and go traffic in downtown Waco. You could see engine temp at 226. You know, it'll stop when
Yeah.
it gets about that point, but that's going to be hot. But then you get out on the highway, you know, that'll drop down to 205 to 207. And in the cooler.
Well, I'm seeing the 230s. Well, of course, some of the interstates are 80 miles an hour.
No, I'm talking about your engine coolant temp, not oil. The oil temp's going to get up there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that oil temp's going to get a little higher. Typically, at highway speeds, they'll both even out pretty close. So if you got 210 on the engine coolant, you'll have 210 oil if without a load behind it or something like that. But yeah, you get hot temps will do that. Outside, they can only cool off so much, but these engines are made to run so much hotter. There's some of them that have thermostats that run 228 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Some of the new cars, it's emissions. They just build them. You got to realize that. So an engine, it's more about the head gasket than anything else, because an aluminum's got a pretty high melting point. I'm pushing 1,100 degrees of exhaust temp on my diesel. It's aluminum pistons. Okay. They would, they'd come apart if it was like a 250. So if you've got an engine with the right head bolts and the right gasket surfaces and get good gaskets, they're designed to run a little higher temps than what we're accustomed to.
Wade, thanks very much for the call. Have no fear, is what we're saying.
Yeah, you're good. Let not your heart be troubled.
He's good.
But now that he knows that, should he keep an eye on it if it goes above that?
I think he just needs to enjoy his car.
Okay.
It's working like it's supposed to.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. The phone number to reach us, 866-594-4150. You're listening to the Under the Hood Show.
With over 2,000 episodes and over 200 stations, Under the Hood has the knowledge to make your car feel good. This is Under the Hood.
866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Don't forget, you can watch the show on our YouTube channel if you subscribe there and join the Hoodie Fan Club at underthehoodshow.com. You could win a hoodie.
Like Colette Johnson, congratulations from all of us here under the hood and our friends over at Berkeley One Classics. They're celebrating 50 years of collector car coverage. Goes back to like my first cars almost.
Yeah.
50 years. And Universal Technical Institute, uti.edu.
What was
Great place to go to get trained to be an automotive technician.
Find out what the first car was they
insured.
covered. Yeah.
I wonder if they would even know that. It's like for me, if you said, what was the first car you worked on in your shop? I couldn't tell you because it was before my current computer system.
Yeah, but those insurance companies, they're pretty big on statistics and keeping track.
Well, yeah, but still, do you keep, I guess if it were me for nostalgia, I might keep that. But on the other hand, I might say, all right, let's keep records 20 years prior to when their last coverage was.
We need to ask them that, because I'm just sitting here thinking about, when we tell the story about our business, we know
the first
there
one.
was a first vehicle, a Ford pickup that my dad fixed. And maybe their story revolves around a first vehicle that they insured. And
I can see W.R. Berkeley possibly when he got into the collector car end of it may have said, and a collector car, we might be able to do. I think we can do it.
We're going to ask this because I have opinions.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it was only 50 years ago. That's nothing.
Only, yeah, you're right. It wasn't that really wasn't that long ago.
So we were 6.
Yeah. I wasn't, but you guys were.
You were 3.
3. Let's go to Pennsylvania and talk to Jim. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Jim, what can we do for you?
Hey guys, I'm actually in Indianapolis, but that's okay. Hey, I've called before. You guys have helped me out with my Trans Am and my F-250 diesel, and I'm actually working at home today. I have the YouTube feed on watching you guys, and I thought perfect time to call and ask about the new Husky hauler that I'm about to get.
We're waving at you right now.
Trading. Well, there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll have to wait to see you. But anyway, traded in the 2016 Rubicon, had the 3.6, 50,000-mile manual, and, I figured things were going to start to need to be replaced. So I have ordered, and hopefully next week it's going to be built, a 25 Bronco Badlands Sasquatch. And I'm getting the 2.3 liter because that's what you have to get in order to get a manual. Guys, I'm 62 years old. I've never owned an automatic, and I'm just too old to learn how to drive one. So But I understand this rascal is going to come with auto stop, believe it or not. So I've already researched the auto stop eliminator module to install. And I guess, guys, Shannon, don't you own a Bronco?
I do, and
Not one of those.
Well, no, but I had
Different.
We started our Bronco quest not super early when people got the rush, but
Didn't
we
you
were
have a mini Bronco?
no,
I thought you did.
no. We started it in 2020, I think, when we had our folder started to put our order in. We waited 2 years because we wanted to get just the one we wanted. We wanted the Bronco Sasquatch Badlands, and I remember reading about everything when they came out with that straight stick 4-cylinder. The enthusiasts were just excited as all get up because they made a 2-door 4-cylinder bare bones that you could pick up really affordably and get all the off-road prowess and still have that new Bronco feel. And the enthusiasts just loved it. They just thought that was the greatest thing that they did that. And the vehicle itself, though, is a very, very good chassis. I had the opportunity while I waited for our Bronco. My wife and I got the opportunity to go out to the Bronco Off-Rodeo, and we went to their course just outside of Las Vegas and spent a couple days with the Bronco folks and the Ford folks and other Bronco buyers. And it was amazing how they showed us the capabilities of those vehicles. I think there's some videos back on our Facebook page if you crawl back to probably 2022.
YouTube. They're on the YouTube
They're on the
channel.
YouTube channel. But it just, that vehicle, not to say that a Jeep isn't capable. I never went to a Jeep Wrangler school, but I was just blown away about out of the box the things they can do. But I will tell you, I don't think there was a single 4-cylinder straight stick at that school that they had us experience.
That would be hard
And
for newbies.
yeah, so it was just I don't know a lot about them, but the vehicles themselves are super capable. And I just know that the people that were writing about them, all the comments about the straight sticks, they were very excited about the way they made that feel, the transmission shifting. I mean, there was a lot of good reviews on that. So I don't know what you want to know about it, but I love the vehicle. We've actually since then traded that in for a Bronco Raptor that we have now.
Yeah, I gotcha. I guess my main question then would be for Russ. Russ, it's actually the 2.34 liter that I'm getting. Anything run through your shop that raises red flags that I should keep an eye out for, I guess?
No, those engines have been really good. We've had a lot of issues with the smaller Ford, like the Escape engines, like the little teeny tiny ones, but the turbo. But this one, no, they've been a really good solid engine. And you need something a little bigger. You know, I say the mini Bronco, but it's really not, because I had a 66 Bronco, and this new Bronco that you got is, well, it wasn't that pretty, but it's bigger than that. I got online because Chris is famous for looking up things, and he says, "Hey, what do you think this new Colorado? How big do you think it is?" And it's like, it's longer and wider than a half ton or whatever. I'm like, whoa! So I looked at this thing. We had Pastor Jeff or Hayes. His son's got one that he purchased from here at Nordstrom. So
that was a Bronco Sport.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I pull out. I went. Well, I got in it. And when I got in it, I went, this feels like I'm driving a 66, because inside it just had the feel of it. You'll feel like you're in an original one. So I got the tape measure out, and I started checking some stuff out, and I got online, and I went, this thing is actually wider and longer than the originals. Now, it wasn't as tall, but if you recall, those older Broncos sat up very high.
Yep.
So that's why they were taller. But when you measure just from the top of the windshield to the bottom of the rocker, the new one's bigger.
Yeah, and then his full-size Bronco is going to be bigger yet.
Yeah. So it's but all around, I think they're pretty good, and they might even have some performance options. I don't know why you'd need them. I think I'd stick with the longevity of a complete stock.
If he's doing the straight stick, and if you need to if you're going to go slow-mo on the off-road, you've got
you're fine.
Gear to choose and transfer case settings and
torquey engine.
Yeah, with your Sasquatch, you've got the detachable sway bar. It's really a very capable vehicle.
Jim, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, he's going to have a blast.
Yeah.
Especially if he wanted a straight stick. At 60 years old, he's getting one, and there's very few straight sticks produced anymore.
Yeah.
But
In anything.
yeah, but Ford made a point that they wanted to have that for the enthusiasts.
866-594-4150. Let's talk to Matt. You're on the Under the Hood show. Matt, what can we do for you?
Hey guys, I got a 2020 Ram 1500. It does not have the e-torque. Was driving it 5-10 miles and then stopped at a farm shop here to give it a little bath. Pressure wash the exterior. Go to start it and it'll crank until the computer tells it to quit cranking. I got no start to it.
Oh, how big a pressure washer did you use?
Did you move it at all? Did it slide over a little?
It's got holes in the body now.
No. Yeah, shot it up the exhaust. Can't figure out what happened.
It just might be a coincidence.
Just a normal exterior wash, and I got nothing.
Yeah, nothing should have been capable of causing that issue. You'll just have to diagnose it like it was a regular no start. The lift pump in the tank may have failed for some reason, so you're not getting any fuel up there. I'm assuming it's got gasoline in the tank. I've seen that happen before. It's like it won't start, and the gauge is a little off. And we've not had issues with fuel tank sending units or fuel pumps on these. But the first step is to find out if your fuel pump's running, if it's got fuel. Take the cap off, listen to the filler neck there while somebody just pushes the button. Don't have to start it, just push the button twice so it powers up all the gauges so you could hear that thing power up. And see if you can hear the fuel pump running. I'm guessing you're probably not. That's the most common thing for a no start on that.
How many miles you got on the Ram?
About 180,000.
All right, so it's been around a little bit.
Could have a fuel pump.
That would be a first place to start. Now, and then after that, you might want to look and see if on the dash you have any different lights for, they're not big, known for security problems, but you could look for that. And that truck, I don't even think it would crank. It won't even crank.
Mm-mm.
And so I think your best bet's just check fuel first. And if it's stuck where it's at, get underneath there with a work boot on and kick the bottom of the tank. If it is that, and maybe you'll rock it just enough to make the fuel pump run.
It's cranking.
Here's what I would suggest. Use a boot with not a steel toe and use your toe so you're going to only kick it as hard. No, well, but you don't want to kick it so hard that you go through it.
You can't. You can't. It's a hard plastic tank, or you will not do that. You'll break your toe before you go through that tank.
Matt, good luck. Thanks very much for your call. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show.
If your Band-Aid can is empty because you have so many dash lights on, you need to call Under the Hood.
866-594-4150. Let's go to Michigan and talk to Ramey. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Ramey, what can we do for you?
Real simple. 2017 Spark with the automatic, the bigger 4-cylinder. It is my brother's car, but I'm the mechanical one in the family, and my brothers don't even know what a gas tank looks like. But beside the point, 118 rounds on it, rode in it yesterday, and it was kind of hot out. And when it got hot, it would start bucking, going down the road, didn't want to shift right, didn't do anything right. On a cool day, it's just fine. No engine lights on the dash. It did have the upgrade in May at the dealership of the new programming. It has had its regular fluid changes and stuff. I suggested to my brother it may need an aftermarket cooler because on cool days like today, no issues. Want to hear your expert because I started listening to you guys about 2 months, and oh boy, am I learning stuff.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for just tuning in to tune up, and we'll call you a hoodie now.
I've been wrenching for 40 years, and you guys have kept me on the smart end of this newer stuff, and oh boy, have I learned a lot. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And carparts.com is one of the best places to go to get your stuff, too. Just wanted to give that point.
Yeah, Car Dash Part is very, very good partner of ours, and we put our parts on there. Yeah.
Awesome.
If you've got it missing just when it's hot like that, it might actually be missing. It could be a coil pack issue. When those things get hot, they break down with some age and time and stuff. So they'll just, the heat opens up the pores of those things, and they'll arc to ground as you're trying to drive. So you'll get kind of a not a steady, but a random buck miss surge type thing. And you could pick that up on a scan tool. If you were reading it on the scan tool, the misfires, you'd see the misfires occur, and on what cylinders does that happen. Would not surprise me. I've seen this on other ones that do this, and they just do it when it's hot, not when it's cool.
And it's an issue with ambient temperature under the hood, not so much engine temperature. So an auxiliary cooler isn't going to, if that is what's going on, which most likely is, an auxiliary cooler would not help that any. It might help it some if you move some more. Yeah, if you move some more air under the hood, it potentially could change it some. But the fact is that you've got components that are failing with age is most likely what's going on.
And the heat is making them fail.
Yeah, the coils, I would agree 110% with that. I've seen that, but with the training issues on these cars, I was leaning the other way.
So we just don't see it here. I mean, it gets pretty hot, but we really don't have a lot of issues with the transmissions doing that. We have them just stop. They work, or they slip so bad they won't go anywhere. I haven't had a lot of
and usually it'll start with maybe a light chatter or a light shudder before it would turn into I got to make sure I say this carefully, bucking when hot.
Gotcha.
I had to add a word in the middle there so
yeah.
quick listeners didn't think something else.
Yeah. Does that help you out there, Ramey?
What's that you said?
It does. I'll put the scanner on it today and check the coils. And I will give you guys a call and follow up, and I'll bet you're right.
Well, we'd love to hear it if that's the case. Yeah.
Thanks
we'd like to hear it either way, even if we're not right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for the call, Ramey. 866-594-4150. Let's go to Pennsylvania and talk to Don. You're on the Under the Hood show. Don, what can we do for you?
Hey, I have a 73 Challenger, and I can only get it out every once in a while. And lately, when I get it out, I having an issue when I get maybe a mile down the road, it just shuts off. And it happened to me before. So someone said, put an extra ground on it. It must be a ground issue. So I ran a ground wire over the ignition box and behind it and grounded it out more. And it worked for a while, but now it did it again. And I don't understand what's going on. But if I keep the key forward, not in the start position, it'll stay running. But if I let go of the key, it shuts right down. So do you think that's in the column somewhere, or you think it's still in the ignition box?
I think the problem's in the ignition box. It's not likely the key. It's easy to check the key. You could just get yourself a voltmeter or even a test light and stick into the ignition terminal on the switch. I think that one's yellow. I can't remember, but check the ignition on the switch, turn it to run, and it should have power there. If it only has power when you turn it a little further forward towards the start but not into start, then the switch is definitely bad. But if you've got power there all the time, in the run position and in the crank position, it should always have power on that ignition wire.
But he'd have to be checking it when it's died.
Right. But check that, and then or you could even get yourself a voltmeter, lay it on the floor.
Yeah, because
plug the two wire, put one on ground.
Remember the orange boxes that Chrysler came out with?
Yeah. I had one of these.
So they were rated,
I threw it right in the garbage.
Yep.
Got a carburetor distributor. 5 minutes, 5 miles.
Yeah. That box is only rated at 5,000 RPM. So I got these new boxes that are blue and are rated 8,000. But I'm not 100% positive that this is. I don't know how much testing they did on these boxes.
Well, so yeah, just get your voltmeter, lay it on the console or the floor, and stick one to ground and stick the other one in the ignition wire on the column. Start the car, drive it, and when it dies, if you still got power there, it's not the switch. It has nothing to do with the column. It'll be in your ignition box. But those ignition boxes, they need to be grounded well, but they also need to be, the body needs to be grounded to the battery. The battery is normally grounded to the engine. If you don't have a good ground to the body, you're going to have a problem. And I made sure that I've got a ground running over towards the ignition box, and I got a ground running up to the firewall as well, so it's all grounded well.
I've got to ask a follow-up question here, Don. You mentioned that you put in the blue box for 8,000 RPMs. What are we doing with this engine? What do we got going on here?
Well, you're going to hit 6.
I
or
know,
55.
I know, but is there more behind the scenes here on this engine? Is it a big dog or is it factory?
No, it's a big dog. I actually got it from a guy who was king of the hill in Long Island with this engine. And he got this in 2011. He lost the race with a new Challenger. 2011 Challenger, somebody chipped out. He lost the race. So I got the engine from him. He put a 572 Hemi back in his car. So I got this engine. 13-to-1 compression, but they detuned it, lifted the head, shimmed them up to get the compression to 11-to-5-to-1. So it still has dome pistons in it and stuff.
Take that distributor, then take the distributor that's in it out in that ignition box, throw them in the garbage, and go get yourself an MSD distributor, drop in there, self-contained, problem fixed.
You looked like the cat who swallowed the canary there when you asked that question. Then he took off.
When you let people talk, it's amazing what they'll tell you.
All right, Don.
That's a fun. We got a little more about this car.
Yeah, stay right there.
We can't let rest.
I don't have you on air right now, Don. You're going to be on in a second. Don't say any words. We have to guess what color it is.
My Challenger, my 73 Challenger only ran 1430, so it's not this car.
What color do you think it is, Shannon?
Well, he just got the motor out of the other one, so he bought a hot motor and put it in a different car.
We'll say what was the original color. Let's hope he knows what it was, or whatever you want.
Well, no, his car is original. I bet he just put a hot motor in it. I'm thinking it's an original car, and it is gold, and it might even have a black vinyl top.
Okay, I'm gonna go lime green. Russ,
mine was light blue with a white vinyl top, so I'm saying it was light blue.
Okay.
Like a powder blue.
Don, what color is the Challenger?
The Challenger's nickname is Frankenstein.
So
it is 2011 Mango Tango Toxic Orange.
Oh, and do you know what color it was originally?
Panther Pink.
Oh wow! Jeez.
I think that's the hardest miss we've ever had.
I think so.
Across the board miss.
When he said Frankenstein, I thought green would get there to me, but no.
That's the hardest miss we've ever had. Well, this sounds like an awesome, fun car. So, what does it do in the quarter mile when it's working right?
Doug, he needs a hoodie.
I can't get traction on it yet, so I have to do some modification because all it does is smoke the tires off. It's got 391 gears in it, and it's got the fattest tire I could fit back in there. They're
12-inch.
I don't know.
12-inch?
Yeah, they're really wide. And I actually bought chip boost rims for this thing. So the offset was a 5.5, I think, on the offset of these tires.
Mm-hmm.
My fender wells had to be quarter power. They had to push them out to get these rims under it.
Yeah, and you can push them inwards, too.
Oh, that's fun. It's Berkeley Classics. They are one of our partners, and
they won't insure a race car.
Yeah, if it's racing all the time, but if he's just out having fun and he just likes to tell stories, then you've got a chance.
No, they'll tell you. Give them a call. But we'll get you a hoodie. Stay on the line.
That's
talk
awesome.
To producer
and they
Doug.
listen, so you're probably out.
Yeah.
Don, hold on. I'm going to put you on hold. You're going to get a hoodie there. 866-594-4150. Let's see if we can get this done in a minute and a half. Jeff in California, you're on the Under the Hood Show. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. Love your show. I have a 2017 Silverado, and I'm getting ready to pull an RV with it, a bumper pull RV, 24-footer. And I've been doing a lot of research on the trucks with transmission failures and mostly related to torque converters. What are your guys' opinion on that? And I'm thinking I put a thermal bypass kit on it already to keep it cooler.
Good.
That's the big problem. The first thing we do when anybody buys one of those and comes to our shop, we put the thermal bypass in, we flush the cooler out completely with new fluid, and if they haven't already failed, that usually prevents that issue. So That's the big thing you can do for towing on that because it's the heat and the fluid.
Use the tow haul mode. Trust it. How far are you going, or are you within your weight capacity? That's the things you need to check, and make sure that it's set up for the right truck. Because some of those campers, if they're in that 6,000-7,000 pound range, you're okay. Be within that 80% rule because you're going to put some stuff in there. But just really be careful because you can over camper a truck really quick, and then it doesn't matter how many thermal bypasses you put on it. So,
Jeff, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. And stick around if you want to ask another question there, Jeff. We're going to go to hour 2 here in just a second. That'll do it for hour 1 of the Under the Hood Show. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show.
You're listening to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics, Shannon Nordstrom and Russ the Super Tech Evans. Shannon is an ASE engine and parts specialist, and Russ is an ASE Master Certified Technician with extensive factory drivability training. The Under the Hood Show is heard weekly on this and other great radio stations.
With Russ Evans, this is Shannon Nordstrom, thanking you for tuning in to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show. Have a great day, and remember, PTLA.
The opinions heard on this program, based on the many years of experience of Russ and Shannon, are offered for entertainment value and as a guide to your repair needs. No guarantee to repair or cause is given or implied. Always check with your favorite certified technician and follow all safety procedures before attempting repair. The Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics is reproduced and distributed by Prairie House Productions. Have questions for the Motor Medics? Call our 24-hour toll-free number, 866-594-4150. All content of the Under the Hood Show is the property of Nordstrom's Incorporated. Copyright Nordstrom's Automotive and may be reproduced with our permission.
Now, let's go under the hood with the Nordstrom's Motor Medics.
Welcome to the Under the Hood Show. We are glad to have you with us. Russ Evans is here to answer your automotive questions.
Thanks for joining us under the hood.
Shannon Nordstrom is here to do the same.
Welcome, hoodies. Thanks for tuning in so we can help you tune up.
I'm Chris Carter here to answer your calls at 866-594-4150. 866-594-4150. Bunch of calls coming in. Let's go right to California and talk to Jeff. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Jeff, what can we do for you?
Morning, guys. Hey, I have had a problem with the Honda Pilot, and I had a solution to it, and I just want to share this with all of your listeners. And I'm not sure if you guys covered this on your show or not, but the service bulletin was sent out by Honda for an intermittent failure with the keyless entry in the CPMS control unit.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening is you'll park your car in your garage or somewhere, and the alarm will just start going off intermittently. Their solution is the service bulletin is to change that unit, which will cost you about $1,000. But I got on YouTube and did a scoured YouTube for a solution to this, and there's a guy on YouTube that put the board under a microscope, and he found the problem, which was the one chip is not covered with that protective film, and it collects deposits between pin 1 and ground, and it'll intermittently lock and unlock your car doors and set off the alarm. It's just enough millivolts that it senses that somebody is trying to steal the car. And so your alarm goes off. And the solution is just clean it with alcohol and then cover it with fingernail polish.
We are sitting here, all of us, in amazement. I don't know about Russ because he's probably done something like this.
This sounds like a crazy person who Russ should meet.
And all I can think is Chris wants a microscope now.
I should have thought of that too. You made the symbol over there. Like, yeah, Chris wants a microscope now.
For sure.
That's awesome.
You cannot see the deposits with the naked eye. I even tried to put 2 magnifying glasses together, and you still can't see it. But I went ahead and cleaned it with alcohol and a cotton swab, coated it with fingernail polish, and it's been fine ever since. This thing was waking us up nightly. It would be in my garage, and the alarm would just go off.
I think at some point we had somebody call the show about this. Where's that module located in that vehicle?
It's underneath the dash behind the glove box.
And
it's in a plastic container, so you have to take that out and not break it. There's latches that are very tricky to get undone. before you can pull the board out of it.
That is awesome. I mean, we'll have to put that.
Interesting,
We probably need to put that up as a short on our YouTube channel too, to give people another way to find that out. Because if they're not replacing it as a safety recall, and you have to pay for it because it's just a bolt and like, hey, we found the problem, buy the part.
$1,000 for one with a few drops of nail polish on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jeff, thanks very much for the call.
Well, there's several things like that the dealer has released that are out of warranty. They'll say, "Oh, here's the fix for it, but you've got to pay for it. We built it wrong, but that's okay. We're not going to cover it, unfortunately."
Russ, do you have a microscope at the shop?
No.
We could start harvesting these modules, and you could open them up and.
I got one at home, but I don't have one in the shop.
And then we'll just do a little operation, and we could resell them.
Can we get an iPhone one? Can we get one of those that attaches to the phone so we can?
See, here's where Russ knew that Chris would find high interest in this.
Run it through a pipe or something. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Let's go to Landon in Ohio. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Landon, what can we do for you?
Hey, guys. I'm a long-time listener, probably two or so years now.
Cool.
But so I have a 1989 Chevy K1500, and I've been having this weird issue that I cannot put my finger on, but it's 350 TBI, and the only thing done to the motor is has like the aftermarket carb style air cleaner instead of the long black tube one, and the previous owner said it had a very mild cam installed possibly, and the head's done, but there's no proof. But sometimes it'll rev up and down at idle. Sometimes it'll drop the RPM when you come to a hard stop and like almost stall, and once it did stall. And if you're in park, it'll rev up probably like 800 or 950 RPM, and then it acts like it has a backing leak, but it goes away and comes back.
And it's been doing it ever since you had the vehicle?
Yeah, I've had it probably 6 months or so.
Did the previous owner tell you that it did this?
No, he didn't really realize it. It didn't do it until I got it home.
Right.
Oh,
He might have been in enough euphoria that you never noticed it right away. That does happen. I've done that.
Yeah. Runs great. Taking it home.
Look at this nice truck. Oh.
It is super clean. It's rust free.
Well, and these trucks, I know you talk about eras, but I had a guy from our area recently on the phone, and he likes ask me some questions every once in a while, and he's kind of went ham on. He just told me gathering these trucks. He's got a whole bunch of two-wheel drive short boxes, and he's got a whole bunch of two-wheel drive full-size Blazers of that era, Blazers and Yukons that they made, and I was surprised how many a whole bunch was. But he just said that the square body phase has gotten so expensive, it raced up so fast that a lot of them can't afford the price of admission.
Right.
And these trucks are starting to grow the following. I know Russ, they're taking off, and it's kind of crazy. But that motor, I would be curious how much cam he put in it, because if he didn't have the computer adjusted enough,
any cam,
that would be a problem.
If it's not a stock cam in one of those, because they don't have a mass airflow sensor, they're running a map sensor. They're gonna surge. They're gonna run bad like that. And if you change the exhaust, you take off that factory catalytic converter. If it's got a straight exhaust on it with no converter, it can cause it to run that way too. And both of those things together equal it needs to be tuned. And you're going to have to find somebody that can tune it, but they're going to need to know what the specs of the engine are. They're going to need to know what cam's in there, the whole bit, so that they can put that in. Now, an easy way to find out if it's got a cam in it or not, it still takes some time, but depending on the accessories you have on the front of the motor, it might be as simple as just pulling off the balancer, taking off the water pump, and taking the timing cover off. And then when you pull that timing chain, the top gear off, there'll be numbers on the end of the camshaft. It'll be stamped. It'll say 262 comp cam or whatever. It'll be right on the front of it, so you don't have to pull the whole cam out. That's the easiest way to find out if it's got a cam. So you get that, you write down the numbers, and then you write down, okay, it's got straight exhaust on it with mufflers, turbo mufflers or glass packs. It doesn't have a CAD on it. I'm assuming it probably doesn't if this guy's messed with it. And then, whatever else that's been done to the motor, you send that off. There's still a couple people out there that'll burn chips because they have chips in an old burner, and they pull out all that information into their computer, and it will program a chip, and then you just snap it into your computer, and it's done. It's that simple. Just plug it in.
Another thought, Russ.
EGR was a huge problem on these trucks.
Just let's go back to the base problems before we jumped right to that.
If it's all stock,
we jumped right to that comment about the cam,
and maybe
it. What would you do?
Yeah, if it's all stock, unplug that EGR, put a Golf T in the hose, and see if it goes away. If it does, you're going to need an EGR valve and the little actuation solenoid on it as a pair,
which is very affordable. Dorman Products has them.
Yeah, as a kit, you can get the whole thing, and
you might just do that anyway.
Yeah, because of the age. If it's still got an EGR, and then the other thing is set the timing with the engine completely warm. Disconnect the timing connector. It's either going to be located under the hood, under that little black T-shaped box on the passenger firewall under the hood, or it's going to be under the passenger side kick panel where the glove box area is, and it's a brown and black wire, tan and black, that's got a little black connector on it. You just unplug it, and you'll hear the engine drop down in RPM a little bit. And the check engine light will come on. That means it's in its timing set mode, and the timing is set to 0 on those. And then once it's set to 0, you plug it back in and shut the key off, start it back up again, and see if it changed.
And if it's still the factory distributor in that truck and it's got
horrible.
miles on it,
even the new ones are horrible.
I would. What do you buy usually for us to replace one?
We've got one that we've put 3 or 4 of them in, and it's still giving us trouble. I just hate those things. We'd like to replace them all because nobody makes a good one right now. Standard, Dorman, none of them are making a good one. It's an off, like WAI or some weird one. So instead of putting new ones in when we are putting reman engines in, we've been leaving the old ones in and saying, hey, we didn't sell you one, so we're not going to be stuck. But a lot of times you can get away with a new module, a new pickup coil.
Just make sure the bushings aren't loose inside of it and get new guts.
It's the magnets in the shaft that are the problems. They lose their power.
Landon, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. Is there anything that works in place of a golf tee? If it's Sunday and I'm working on it and I can't get to a store that has a golf tee and I need a
matchstick, bolt.
Okay. Something that you just plug it.
Plug it.
Yeah, go in the kitchen and steal something from the wife. There's something in there in the junk. There's something in the junk.
Hopefully, people haven't listened to our show and then ran out and said, "Where do I find golf keys?"
Yeah,
I bought a whole bag of them.
They're cheap if you're.
Go to a golf course. Go to a driving range. There'll be hundreds of them in pieces.
There'll be bags all over. You just need to unzip the bag.
You just need the top half.
You
the top part, not the bottom part.
If you do that, they'll be like, "What are you doing?" You'll be like, "I just need one golf tee." I'm sure
like Russ said, just go get some shrapnel off the range.
I could walk over to any range right now and just pick up the top of one that's busted off.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. 866-594-4150.
Car feeling ill? Don't want to spread it to your wallet? Call the Motor Medics for free advice.
866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Let's talk to Brian. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Brian, what can we do for you?
Hello. I got a 2013 Ford Edge, and I got a check engine light, and I got a PO 455 code. It's evaporative emissions leak. And it says once in a while it'll pop up and it'll say check the fuel cap door or check the fuel cap, but it's one of those capless fuel tank fillers. What do you think I got going on?
Are there any engine issues? Surgeon runs bad or anything like that? Just a code?
It's just the code. It doesn't seem to bother on anything, as far as rough idle or anything like that.
More than likely, it's going to be a canister and vent valve issue on the car. They've had some canisters that crack around the seams and seep air, and vent valves that stick. Standard Motor Products makes a really great canister and vent valve combination, both. I just did one on a Honda Odyssey yesterday. It had some water in it from driving through some deep water because the canister was leaking. It wouldn't have got water in it if it wasn't leaking in the first place. But you get those emissions codes when that happens. Secondary is the capless fill system. With dirt and age, they can start to leak. And instead of replacing the whole cap, which was standard, you replace the whole filler neck assembly. And they're starting to sell a lot more filler neck assemblies. I know we've purchased several of them from Dorman Products, put them in vehicles. So far, they've all been Fords. They've been Fusion, F-150s, Taurus. They just, and it could be.
Well, they started putting them on before other domestics.
I think that's wise. And these were older ones, 13, 14.
I was surprised when he said 13 Edge and had a capless. I just didn't realize, in my mind, that was like, really? When he said that.
I had a guy yesterday call me with an 11, and he says, yeah, I got a problem with my with I don't have a fuel cap, so I have a problem with it. And I'm like, oh, it's worn out. And I was like, yeah, well, they've been around for a while, where you just stick the hose in there and there's no fill cap. He goes, what do you mean there's no? Who doesn't have a fill cap? I said, well, you don't. You just told me it doesn't. He says, no, my cap's missing. I need another one. Oh, they want to know what kind of cap to buy. And I thought he meant it was a capless type system, but no, he was missing his cap. So there we go. But yeah, the secondary is the fill neck itself. Primary, I'd be leaning more towards that. And the only way to know that 100% is to get a smoke machine and to test it for leaks. Smoke machines are cheap. Every shop should own one now. You can pick a really nice one up for less than $200. You can pick one that works up for about $80. So a shop should own one.
Brian,
test it.
Just quick for other listeners that may have what are they talking about? Your fuel system is a sealed system, and they have a vent system that lets that tank breathe, so you can fill gas and it doesn't kick back at you, and then it takes any breathing of the tank through basically a charcoal filter, and there's valves that meter when that should be open and closed. And that's the system that gets some problems. And then the system does its self-test, which it does every once in a while, and it says, this isn't working right.
You're leaking.
And we can't let vapors get into the air. And so we got to fix this. That's what's going on here.
Brian, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. Let's go to Oregon and talk to Mitchell. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Mitchell, what can we do for you?
Excuse me. Got a 95 Caprice and with a 4.3 V8 and 4L60, I think. Anyway, I took it apart when I had problems starting when it was a couple of years ago. I took the valve body out, put in new solenoids, cleaned it out, put a shift kit in it. But what happens is when you put it in reverse, when it's cold, it goes bam right into reverse, and it works great. When it warms up, reverse slips and then kind of chatters after it's warm.
And I'm just trying to get my brain straight here. That has got the throttle body 4.3 that probably still has or does it have a kick or a throttle pressure cable, or is that all electronic? I'm trying to remember.
It's no, it has a cable.
A cable that goes down from a throttle body on top of the engine. Because at 96, I think, is when they went to the mini LT, they called it in that 4.3. So you've still got the older generation.
Well, that's what this is the 4.3 V8 mini LT.
But okay, that's fine.
So when it's cold, it's fine. When it's warm, it slips.
Yeah, it slips and kind of chatters if you're backing up a hill or so.
If you have put in a valve body and the valve body is good and it was clean and everything was put in right and there's no failures there, then that leaves one thing basically on that would be that the lip seals in that transmission for that reverse clutch are leaking, or the clutch is slipping because it's worn off. As you're applying pressure, we know we start off with the valve body. Do we have enough pressure going to it? Yeah, because it works forward. Is it good in reverse? If it is, then you're applying pressure to it, but it's bleeding off. And because it only does it warm, if the clutches were worn out, it's going to slip cold or hot. But if the pressure's low, only when it's warm, then that's usually seals. The seals start to bypass them when they get warm. As everything expands a little bit, can't seal against that.
Yeah.
And then it'll leak.
How did
Oh,
that how did that fluid look when you took it apart?
Oh, it's great. It's actually, yeah, it stays pink a long, long time. Okay, but that's why I took it apart. It's because it was the same problem, and I took it apart, cleaned everything, but I didn't know to look for those seals. Are those accessible through the?
No.
If you take the valve body off, please don't say that.
100% tear down to get to it. Yep. But if you took a valve body off, if you took a valve body off yourself and were confident you got it back on correctly, you could pull the transmission. And
well,
with
that's why I took it apart.
Yeah, with a couple tools off Amazon, you could take that transmission completely apart yourself, look for the failed parts, and put it back together watching YouTube. Because it's not any more difficult than, I mean, you've got to pull it out, yes, but it's not any more difficult than what you did with the valve body and the ball bearings and the whole bit, trying to put it on while you're under the ground upside down. You know, you take that valve body out, you've got that thing sitting up on a stand, and you pull the pump out of the front of it, you start pulling things out one at a time. They all stack in there, and get yourself a kit. I think the kits for those to rebuild them are still like $300-400. They're not that bad, but when you take it into a professional transmission shop, well, they got a lot of labor there to tear it down, clean it up, inspect everything, put a kit in it that's going to cost you more than what you're going to buy the kit for, and then you could say, "Wow, I built this." You know, it's a turbo 350 with an overdrive unit on it, and I did one on a basically a really dirty floor one time, and it actually worked pretty good.
Make sure you keep track as you pull stuff out.
Keep track, but also YouTube videos. There are really extensive YouTube videos on rebuilding those 700 R4s and 4L60s and turbo 350s. They'll show every piece. You can find them all out there. It's not for everybody. Don't be thinking, "Oh, he told me I could do." No, but
He
it's
said
something.
I could do it upside
Well,
down.
just
on
like
a
said,
dirty
he,
floor.
he heard what he did already and thought, there's something that can be done here. But that first time you dumped that fluid, though, I was just curious what it was like. 'Cause if that was super clean yet, you can have clean fluid and still have these lip seals leaking. If you had clutches burned up, that first dump of that transmission fluid should have had not so much debris, but it should have been kind of
Gross.
stinky and gross.
Mitchell, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. 866-594-4150.
If car repair was cheap, you wouldn't need us. We're Under the Hood.
866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us at the Under the Hood Show. Don't forget, you can watch the show on our YouTube channel. And if you subscribe there and join the Hoodie Fan Club at UnderTheHoodShow.com, you could win a hoodie.
Like Mike Santos, congratulations from everybody over here at Under the Hood and our friends over at Berkeley One Classic, celebrating 50 years of collector car coverage, and Universal Technical Institute, uti.edu.
Those are good places to go if you have a car or you want to fix cars.
All good.
That's a UTI. I think I might do that. I think I'm going to.
Is it time?
I think so. I'm going to just hang this up and go do that. Because there's jobs now where I don't have to get down on a creeper, right? I mean, I
Right.
could do, yeah. I like getting on the creeper and rolling around and going under, but
They got an engine hoist at most of those shops, and once you get down, they
I
can
can just lift
pick
myself.
you right
Oh,
back
yeah.
up.
Okay. Well, yeah, then I'm in. 866-594-4150. Let's talk to Rhonda. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Rhonda, what can we do for you?
Good morning. I have a 2024 Chevy Malibu. I got it brand new and didn't have it maybe a week, and I would go to make a phone call and I couldn't hear anything. It was all scratchy. I had to hang up and the other person on the other end couldn't hear me. Or if I get an incoming call, I occasionally will have the same thing happen. It's real sporadic. There's no time specific. In fact, when I called you today, I had to hang up because I had the same thing. It's all scratchy. I've had it into my dealership 3 times, and they have reset the phone or the phone on the car, and they have did the updates on it. and same thing. And I've had it in 3 times. And now they tell me it's my phone.
Mm-hmm.
My phone is probably 3 years old. And they said, well, you probably need to update your phone. It probably hasn't been updated. But it works in my personal car, which is a 23. And it works in my other car, which is a 24.
Are those other
One
vehicles
is,
GM cars, or are they? What kind are they?
A Ram, Dodge Ram pickup, and a Subaru.
Those are 100% different communication protocol systems than the GM. So it is possible it's your phone, but it's also an awesome excuse when the part, it's not a GM phone, because they don't make a GM phone. So when they say our system's working fine, how do you know? You don't know. But I have seen a number of phones that are more than a year old that are not compatible very well, and it seems to be more in GMs than other cars. I have my current phone is 3 years old, and it works wonderfully in one of my GM cars and works horribly in one of my other GM cars. It just doesn't, half the time it doesn't work. It's doing what yours is doing. And yeah, it's the phone, because another phone I have of my wife's phone's in there, it works just fine. A different model phone.
Do you have somebody in your family that you could pair their phone to that vehicle and try it a little bit?
That's what you need to do.
So they did try it at the dealer this last time that I had it in. And like I said, it's sporadic. It's not going to happen every time. But before I had this car, I had a 2021 Chevy Malibu, and it worked just fine.
That's an older system. Completely different design.
One of the
they
things,
change all the time on those with Bluetooth.
One of the I was just going to say the software and the firmware of Bluetooth, which is a brand. I mean, that's it
like
changes and goes so fast.
Yeah, so the new car, that GM car, they really don't need to make it backwards compatible. It's only going to go back so far, and if your phone only goes so new, they will stop updating it at some point, and then that's it. You can't go any newer than that. So it's very possible your phone. That's why you got to try a different one.
But Russ, my dad has a flip phone programmed to a very new Corvette.
Yeah, but and that's a different system,
which blows my mind.
But here's the other thing too. Any vehicle and any phone. Let's just say it's a 2024 vehicle and a 2022 phone. Depending on when those vehicles and when that phone was manufactured,
and what protocol they used in it,
could be vastly different as far as what method of Bluetooth you're using.
And even in a GM car, a Corvette radio, a Silverado radio, they're going to have different Bluetooth systems in there, depending. Now, if you've got, look on your Hollander interchange, basically, Shannon. If it says, here's the radio, this fits a Traverse, this fits a Malibu, this fits a whatever, that would be the same protocol. But if it says it fits this, but it doesn't fit the Corvette, it doesn't fit a Camaro, those are separate, those could be different units. So the only way to try that she can get this fixed is to try a different phone. You know, maybe a family member's got one that's riding around, but and it's inconvenient.
And let's keep in mind, too, that Bluetooth at its base is like a radio.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to the radio right now on 92.5, it's not always going to come in perfect on 92.5. And you've got that in there too. Sometimes you just get a phone that doesn't work all the time.
Rhonda, I'm going to ask
that's getting better.
I'm going to ask a controversial question. Is your phone an Apple or an Android?
It's a Droid.
Okay.
Those are usually better.
Yeah, because I've had problems with GM playing with Apple for a few years with like their automatic charging and stuff, and there's all kinds of stuff online that said there's some compatibility issues with some Apple products. But the fact that this is intermittent is frustrating.
Totally.
You know, that it works great. It's almost like it goes so long, and it's like, okay, I've had enough of this, or this time I don't like the way we connected.
Right.
It's just maddening, and it's a maddening thing for a technician to try to fix. Because all they can do, if they wanted to, is replace the communications module. Yeah, I don't know if they've done that yet or not. and they may or may not have permission from General Motors to do it.
They won't allow them to do it unless they've verified. They're going to ask them, they said, did you try a different phone? They'll say, well, maybe they'll just say, yes, we did, and it didn't do any good. They may let them change it. But a lot of times there'll be a bulletin that says, hey, this is a compatibility issue, which they should be able to dig into and find.
And sometimes, if you listen to the Under the Hood show, every single call is someone who has a problem with their car that is unique to them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
My car, every third time I start it, it chugs. Well, not all the GMs and not all the Fords chug, but that one does. And that sometimes happens with those phones. I wish I had.
I feel for you. It's so frustrating. Do you have someone that could be with you and you guys could do a bunch of phone calling over a weekend or something? Could take a road trip and pair up a couple phones?
It's my company car, so I can't take anybody with me other than a fellow employee. I'd have to grab somebody in my household phone. So
maybe the company can borrow you a different
be,
phone or something.
Yeah, it's my personal phone. So, but you say possibly the communication module?
Well, there's the like you'd call it almost the radio brain, and it's got the Bluetooth built into it, and that is the item that is communicating with your phone. That's what makes the connection.
Let's see, Rhonda. Thanks very much for the call. Hold on. Keep listening, Rhonda. I'm going to take a call here. We might have some help here. Let's see, Christoph, you're on the Under the Hood show. What can we do for you?
Hey guys, I guess it's 2 weeks for two for me in a row here.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Very good.
So I can tell you I have a personal experience with technology support, but also this Bluetooth thing with the car stereo, with the phone. You guys are right on the money. The number of variables that are involved will drive you nuts, but the best thing you can do is documentation and write out the sequence of events, what's happening, when it happens, so you can keep track of how often it is. And it sounds silly like keeping a journal of it, but it's like when you go to the doctor and you say, hey, this thing is hurting, and they're like, okay, when? So, but number one thing that I found is my old Samsung Android phone, in a 2015 Buick that I'm driving now, suddenly decided not to do text message notifications anymore without any changes that I was aware of, but it would still take calls. So, kind of weird. And I tried unpairing the phone, repairing the phone, didn't really get a difference. But I would get in the car after not thinking about it the next morning, and all of a sudden I would get a text alert. And the next time I would get in the car later in the day, nothing. So you have a number of variables involved, and it's important to kind of line those all up and see what's involved. So you've got a specific car with a specific phone, but it's acting intermittently weird. So now we have to track when and why and what's going on. But here's what happened. About 4 weeks after my phone started misbehaving with communication to the car, lo and behold, Verizon pushed out a Samsung update for my 2021 phone. And this was within the last 6 months. And I didn't think about it at the time, but ever since that moment, without changing anything about how my phone is paired and just assuming I'll never have text message again on my 2015 Buick, text messages came back, and they've been back consistently. So since they've worked consistently, it had to have been an update, I'm guessing, from Samsung and Verizon on the phone eventually.
That you
and
couldn't
it was just
force.
some security update.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't toggle anything, change anything, go into the admin developer deep root settings of the phone and change anything. The radio is the radio, the firmware is the firmware, the software is the software. And then on top of that, you've got the same thing on the other end, a Bluetooth radio, the firmware for it, the software within the car that deals with the stereo, because it all pipes through the stereo and the entertainment system now. And so you're not crazy. And I can tell you, at least as a longtime listener, intermittent issues, it plagues all technology. But the best thing you can do is document. And that way, when you're having conversations with people, you may be able to find some common clues that will help you sort it out.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the call, Christoph. Yeah, that's not an easy one.
And if you're somebody that has been resistant to updates on your phone?
Yeah.
Some people are. You might want to update your phone.
And then if you're like me, you also feel like
the software update.
You shouldn't. I mean, it's a miracle, so why are you complaining that every other once out of every 50 calls is bad? Of course. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, this is the problems that we have nowadays are different, aren't they?
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. 866-594-4150.
When all else fails, get a bigger dead blow hammer.
866-594-4150. This is the Under the Hood Show. Let's go to Connecticut and talk to Alec. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Alec, what can we do for you?
Hi, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I have a 2008 Chevy Cobalt with the 2.2, and I just recently bought it from a coworker. It's for my daughter. She's going to be, doodling around college with it. So I get the phone call at, 10 p.m. where it's, hey, it doesn't start. She's 200 miles away at a grocery store. But, it's like this intermittent thing as I was talking to her. She'll get in it. And it tends to be only when it's super hot because it's been really hot, last few weeks here. But she'll get in it. She'll start cranking it over, crank, and it'll fire up for a sec and then die. And she did that like 5 times. And then she called me. This was like last night or the night before.
Oh.
And then as I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, being hundreds of miles away, and it just fires back up. And it ran perfect. And then I asked her about it, and I guess it happened once last week. And I was able to obtain the old records because it's a coworker's mother's car. It's only got 70,000 miles. It's a 2008. And apparently I was looking at the notes, and it said they had this issue in August of last year, early August. I'm sure it was very hot. But I was reading the notes from the mechanic that they took it to, and it said intermittent. They said they couldn't reproduce it in the shop, and they just decided to put a new fuel pump in it because they didn't know what else to do. And then I guess she didn't have an issue from September, and I've had it for about 3 weeks. It seems to have happened twice, but the car is used more consistently now. It's not only driven 1,500 miles a year or anything. So I guess I don't know exactly what I'm asking, but I guess what kind of would have to happen is it would have to just not start permanently. Then I could probably diagnose it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's anything like, is there something that goes on with these vehicles when it's hot? And I don't know, any suggestions? I mean, my wife and I always drive Toyotas, and we're not used to these. Like my other daughter drives a Jeep, and I'm like always fixing electrical on that.
Yeah,
I got
fuel
this
pumps.
Chevy.
I can answer this, and I know what questions you want to ask, and I have the answer. The question you want to ask is, should you buy a car from a coworker for your kids? The answer is always no, and there's no way around it. No one made any mistakes. No one did anything wrong, but you.
It was a great price.
Yep, that's how they get you, and it's the world. The world. It's not your coworker's
It was
fault.
only driven on Sundays
Yeah.
to church, and
It's not your coworker's fault. It's not anyone's fault. That's just
because
how
it won't run any other time.
It's how the world works. That's just you can't do that.
It's so funny because I still have my first car. It's a '77 Toyota. I just get in it, start it up. It's all I don't drive every day, obviously, but you just get in it, it starts right up.
And you
be sitting there 6 months, and I never have these issues until the Jeep and the Chevy.
How far away will the daughter be when she gets to where she's going?
180 miles from the house.
Okay.
College.
All right. So
At least it starts eventually. But, the fuel pumps are the big things on those. The ignition relays have had some issues with those when they get hot. They lose it. And a lot of times when they do that, they'll set a code. You can read the code and see that it's set an ignition relay code. And you just put a couple of them in. There's 2 of them in there, 1 and 2. But just replace them. But
that would be something you could do cheap.
Could also have a crankshaft sensor that's failing, gets hot, opens up, shuts down, then cools off and restarts. And those are the cheaper things that can be done. I mean, if I was trying to fix something for a family member and I just wanted to throw some things at it real quick, I'd probably go buy a couple relays for, $30, $40, whatever for the pair of them, and maybe even get a crankshaft sensor and bolt it in just to see if it made any difference, because otherwise you're going to have to get it to a shop. They're not going to find it because it's intermittent. They may not even want to touch it to begin with because it's not doing it all the time. Might be some things you could try on your own.
What did that use for coil and modules in that car with a 2.2?
It's right on the top. It should be one.
Is that one unit that sat in there?
Yeah, should be one.
It's like a waste spark, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're always Spark. No, but no, they're not always. But it's one unit, one coil pack, instead of a.
Because they would fail when they got hot.
Oh yeah, the quad 4s used to be crazy. When was the last time somebody called with a quad 4?
Well, we had a call a month ago with that very car. I think.
A quad 4 engine.
I think so. Because you told them about putting the module in it.
I think that was the different one I was thinking of. I'm thinking quad 4 now. And
okay,
quad 4 HO.
But yeah, Buick Somerset Regal vibes there.
Yeah, the only thing you could do is go back in time, and not. There's just no way.
Call it 4.4. It's
just no way around it. It's just how it. I've sold a car to a friend for his kid, and it blew up a week later. I mean, that's just.
All right, let's bring it, Chris.
Okay.
Enough of the negativity.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so you've got a vehicle that's in good condition. It's got good miles. Mechanically, it seems to be really sound. Your daughter she probably liked the car up until now. She wants you to get something completely different.
To another coworker.
Okay, all right, yeah. But I think that for less than $300, you could play parts darts, and get rid of the problem. A really good potential.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
Right. I actually was online. I took a look at a crankshaft sensor. I kind of thought Russ would say that, but I did see there was a GM one for sale. It was like $30 brand new, wholesaler closeout, and all that stuff seems pretty cheap. Maybe because it breaks all the time. They sell a lot of them. So,
well, you're talking about an 08. You are talking about an 08 Cobalt.
Yeah.
Let's just
Good
keep
point.
that in perspective.
I know, but I have a '77 Toyota. It starts right up. I'm like,
you're spoiled.
I know.
You're spoiled. You've had good experience.
Started out with something else.
Oh, you're good. I would say start with, like Russ said, those relays, crank sensor, and then a module. And if you did those three, I'd be really surprised if one of those three didn't fix it. But you'll never know which one it was. It'd be like a NASCAR pit stop. You switch everything and it goes fast, and they don't know what they did.
Is it a 77 Celica?
No, it's an old Land Cruiser FJ40.
That's a little tougher.
That's why that goes all the time.
Alec, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. Let's go to Oregon and talk to James. You're on the Under the Hood Show. James, what can we do for you?
Well, we bought a couple of 2000 F350s with a 7.3 liter diesel, and we got probably, close to 500,000 miles on them, and they never had any trouble until now. And I loaned one of them to a friend. And when I got it back, it only had about 1% of the emergency brake left. And I've looked at that thing, and I can't really figure out how the emergency brake works on it. But I've been wrenching since the 60s on Fords, and this doesn't look like anything I've seen before. Is this maybe a dealer-only fix? Or
No, you can fix them, but it's got the drum disc on the back, doesn't it? Disc brake on the outside?
Yep.
Yeah, so the inside's got a drum. I hate to say they burned it up, but it sounds like they may have left the parking brake on when they drove it, and that diesel will overcome that parking brake very easily and ruin the pads. So you got to take the wheels off, take the drum off. Inside of the drum, there's a set of shoes, like regular brake shoes, and some hardware.
Like an old go-kart.
Yep, and then on the outside, you've got the drum. So usually the drums don't wear out that fast, and it is the parking brake, so you should be able to just clean everything off. Like CRC parts cleaner, brakes cleaner, it's really good for all that goo in there. Spray that on there, clean it off, everything very well. I like to hose down the whole backing plate because you've got asbestos fibers and stuff on that. So I just give them a light spray to soak everything good, and then I hose it down and run it into a bucket, get it all clean before I take it off. And then new pads or new shoes back there and new brake hardware. Put it all back together, and that should fix your problem. You should be able to immediately see when you get the drum off of there what the problem is. It's like, where did the shoes go? They're gone. Because
can I get those parts from Napa, or do I have to get them from Ford?
No, you can get them from any auto parts store that's going to carry those parts. They're going to be super common. And for the F350, they're probably going to have at least two sets on the shelf in their store. That is a very common rear end.
James, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. Let's go to Nevada and talk to Christian. We got just a couple minutes here. Christian, go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Great.
Hey, got a '02 Chevy Blazer, S10 Blazer. Also previously I've had a '02 Chevy Silverado. I think recently in those years they come out with that same rear disc brake drum setup that they have. And it seems on these vehicles I've had, it's always a problem keeping those drums adjusted.
Yeah.
Right now I can't get the park brake or emergency brake to really grab. I could be on a slight incline and it'll just roll it. God forbid I have to stop with it, So I was wondering if you guys could tell me if there's any other solutions, modern solutions, aftermarket solutions, or what's the deal with those?
Well,
wheel chucks.
They're only made for holding the vehicle. They are 100% not made for stopping it. So they are not an emergency brake or a service brake of any kind. They will immediately destroy themselves if they're applied when the vehicle is rolling, because it's so thin it can't dissipate heat in the back, that pad surface or the shoe surface. So the fix for it is new drums, new brake hardware, and new parking brakes. They've all got to be clean, because with the old drum, new parking brake, they're not like a big F-350 Ford for a parking brake on those, which will slow the vehicle down and stop it.
It wasn't intended to either.
They don't grab, so you'd need to replace the whole setup. But they don't make anything. They make aftermarket parts, yes, lots of them, but they're not any better than the factory. So if you can find the ones that are most affordable for you and replace, make sure you do the hardware, the parking brake shoes, and the rotor back there, and that should get you back to normal again as long as the cables are good.
Christian, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 2 in a row, right? Never, and then 2 in a row.
2 parking brake calls in a row.
That'll do it for this hour of the Under the Hood Show. Until next time, underthehoodshow.com. Thanks for listening. All right, now we believe we are on the after show. I'm just going to take it on faith that we are off the radio and just on the after show.
Take it on the run, baby.
Take it on the run. Oh, don't say we can't.
Nope.
Was that short enough? Or are they going to copyright us? Let's go talk to Dave in Minnesota. Dave, you're on the Under the Hood Show. What can we... Oh, hold on. I missed that one. Dave, you're on the Under the Hood Show. What can we do for you?
Love your show, guys.
Thanks.
Got a quick question for you. I have been a GM man. I've had a 3800 all my life here, just as kind of a work car. Ran across a Chrysler 300C with a 3.6 liter. Just kind of wondering what you think of that car.
The car itself is very, very dependable overall from our experience. We see those come in here that have been ran pretty hard through a few generations of life cycles of where cars get acquired. And we even have they've gotten old enough where we see them at some of our impound lot sales and stuff that people have still been driving them with lots and lots of miles on them. I would say the weak link would be the engine at some point, but in that particular model, not with the problematic history as much as it would be like in a Jeep or a van or that. I don't know. That just seems like pretty strong overall.
Pretty strong, like an old Chevy Caprice. They're the modern day version of that. Big rear wheel drive, heavy, good car. They just seem
This is an all wheel drive. So, but yeah,
you got a few more parts to break, but
can we turn them into race cars?
Still pretty solid.
I'm sure somebody
track?
would.
Yeah.
But the all-wheel drive part makes it a little interesting.
Doesn't it make it better?
Okay.
Well, it depends what kind of fun you want to have.
Okay.
No, I think for a car, how many miles are on it?
50,000. It's a 2014.
Oh, a 14.
Yeah.
I was thinking older.
Yeah,
that's a great car.
Yeah.
No.
To be an all-wheel drive, it's got to be
a 14 all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Challenger for
Yes.
a frame it. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
We see people make some four-wheel drives out, like jacked up four-wheel drives out of these. They'll take the Challenger or this one, and they actually make spindles to modify where the CV shaft goes through, and it drops it down like 4 inches so you can raise the car up and put some 35-inch tires on it. Remember those we saw at the SEMA show?
I forgot all about that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, so they do all sorts of stuff. These are a very popular car. They were worth it in the aftermarket to make accessories for them because they felt they were reliable and enough people would buy them. So that makes lots of parts available for them and makes them pretty tough.
There you go.
No, the wife ain't gonna go for lead lifting it though. So
You're gonna lift it up and put some.
Yeah.
What did you do to my car?
Don't tell her. Happy anniversary,
Right?
honey. Dave, thanks very much for the call. Enduro car. Can I get out on the dirt track with an all-wheel drive? And
You could. They're not going to hold up very well to the hits.
No, they're so thin.
Yeah, that's true.
These most car Chris now are very. They're made to absorb energy to save the occupants, so they fold.
There was a enduro race at our local county fair the other night, so we were watching old video of enduro races because a friend of mine had never seen one, and a lot of Grand Ams out there, a lot of Grand Ams still racing in enduro tracks. And
have you ever watched a camper race?
Just online.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's the big one that pops up every year, the Night of Destruction, and I think the last one was maybe last year. They stopped doing it because it's so hard to clean the track. They have to take dirt off in layers because there's so much
debris in the track.
My wife wants to see them. I guess they run one here every year that says the Night of Destruction coming up the end of August at 990. What? So
I'm not aware.
They did a couple years ago where they raced and wrecked, but if that's so, I mean, she's into it. But I love those
I stopped
things.
watching all those videos because I would send them to you with great ideas, and you guys would never go for my great ideas.
Well,
so
I did love your idea you had that
we
are going to take
working on it,
advantage of, and I started out with an experiment on YouTube, and it knocked off 1,000 views in like 6 hours, and then of course it faded like they do.
Sure.
But we'll have even better ones. But I just had to say, hey, how much that worked out well.
I'm scared to death of that, by the way.
Shannon's like, what are you doing up there during work hours? I'm like, no, it's authorized experiment. It's my lunch break.
Yes.
Highly classified.
866-594-4150. Let's talk to Alan. You're on the Under the Hood show. Alan, what can we do for you?
Hi. Russ, we talked about my 97 Dodge half-ton. I was having the gurgling in the heater core.
Oh, yeah, the
a couple
Hurgle.
weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah. I borrowed one of those
Vacuum?
funnels, the fancy
Oh,
funnel,
the top.
extended funnel.
Sure.
Yeah. And brought it home, put it all together, put it on the truck. Had the truck running, and it was good and warm.
Mm-hmm.
Is up to temperature, and it really didn't take much, if at all.
Maybe a half a pint.
A
pint.
Yeah, maybe. And I noticed that the overflow tank was low, down about the fill line. So I thought, okay, fill it up. Ran the truck down to Sand Hills in Nebraska. Went down for the race. I didn't, but I went down and worked it. And pretty much it ran its normal temperature, and I really couldn't tell if it was gurgling or not. I wasn't really paying attention. So coming back, I stopped. Dunning, Nebraska has full service gasoline.
Really? Somebody came out and pumped it for you, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, got up to Pickstown and did another stop for gas and opened the hood and let the truck cool down a little bit. Something my dad always did when he was on the road. He just popped the hood open and let the heat out, which I guess is probably a good idea. Worked for him. And I looked at the overflow tank and went, wow, you're 3/4 of the way full. And
that's
it
normal.
Was like okay.
You
so,
filled it up. So when you added the coolant to the radiator, now you've taken out that air pocket. You've gotten rid of the air so that when it warms up and it expands, it should push out into the overflow tank, and then when it cools down, it should suck it out of the overflow tank. If it doesn't go both ways like that, it's either not full or you've got a poor cap on the radiator. And some of the caps aren't as good. Our partner Motorrad makes some really nice caps. They've been doing it forever, and that would fix that problem of the pass back and forth.
So, okay, well, I got to go out that way anyway, so maybe I'll just look at it when I'm out there. It's in storage right now. It got put away. It's got another problem with brakes right now. I got a leaky wheel cylinder in the rear, so why there was no traffic out there on Nebraska 7.
Alan, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. What about pickup trucks? Can I get a pickup truck out on the dirt track? Why don't we do that? Is it just
They're light in the back.
do some drifting in it? Get around, hook it up around
Get
those
an old
corners.
camper, drag campers around. Those races are great.
Let's get a bunch of 16, 17-year-old kids, get them out in the World of Outlaws, win the Knoxville Nationals when they're just children.
That was fun to watch.
That was fun to watch.
That kid had that thing on rails.
Yeah, and the race was not for first in that race.
Never underestimate a child's ability to operate machinery very well. You soon to forget that most of the pilots in World War II were like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And they were good. You know, the older people just weren't. I think when you're young and your brain doesn't know you can't do it, you can do it. Like the first guy to flip a snowmobile off a ramp or a ATV, and those guys were just jumping off a ramp. Then later they said, let's fill a big tub full of cardboard boxes so we don't die when we try it. The first ones were just doing it. And then that's amazing what some of the stuff
we heard your
seen.
dad say you just won the Knoxville Nationals. What did he say after that? Nothing. He just said that a bunch of times in a row. He just kept saying,
over and
you
over.
just won the Knoxville Nationals.
And then, now go do your homework.
It was so great.
Yeah, that was fun. There's a lot of race fans around this area, and I don't always get a chance to watch, but I tuned in that night when just the way the lineup for the A main was set up, I thought it was going to be really quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that young kid races full-time around here. He's not with the World of Outlaws all year, but he races Knoxville regularly. And when we had our Nordstrom's night at Huset's, he was running away with the feature. And he had came down out of turn 4, and there was a car pulling in that had mechanical problems, and he just couldn't react fast enough. He ended up riding him down the front straightaway on his back bar.
Oh, wow.
And he got himself disconnected from him, but by then they had already called a caution.
Sure.
So they blended him back into 5th place with the blend rule. I think it was 5th place. And he needed another lap or two because he was coming. But, he's been fun to watch. Yeah. And he's wrecked a few things.
Sure.
Like, Doug Wolfgang wrecked. My dad remembers him wrecking a few cars back in the Houston days.
Go wide open or go home.
And
that's the only way to do it.
But it was just fun to watch. He passed from 8th to 1st in his qualifying feature and never had a car in front of him the rest of the weekend.
How about that?
For an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah. Wow.
And the race team...
Easy to win those.
And the race team originally was the race team out of Rapid City, South Dakota. The Liebig Special, the Super 8 Special. That was kind of the lineage of the family. I'm getting that probably wrong completely, but I know the Liebigs are longtime race builders. I think at one time they may even own the track out in Rapid City, the family. And so they've had that going for a long time. So Shane is one of the, I think, sons, not a grandson. And so they've been around this for quite a while, and that's got to be a big, big thrill for that family that's involved on that car side of it, and the family that's involved. Mom and Dad have been around racing a lot, it looks like. So that's some big excitement.
All right. Anything else? We're ready to roll, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Ava Rose, if Mom's and Ava are watching today. Mm-hmm. She's my baby's 18 years old today.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Huh. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like it, comment, do all the stuff on the YouTube. Will you, please? All right. Thanks, everybody.